Hello everyone. This is your sacred time. It is time for you to renew, to restore, and to move deeper within yourself. Maybe you came here for the work-in or the workout. Maybe you're here for the fresh air, the freshest air in all of LA. One of the cities with the dirtiest air has the freshest air right here for your nostrils to flare, to be infused with oxygenated prana. Go ahead and breathe with me. Deep inhales. Expand your lungs. Feel your intercostal stretch between your legs, between your ribs, and hold your breath at the top. And now exhale everything out. A deep exhale where you pull your belly up and in, releasing all stale air from the lowest lobes of your lungs. And then inhale again. This is an involuntary and a voluntary practice. You're always breathing, and there's no right or wrong way. You're doing it perfect. I see you. Look how lovable you are. Breathe. Breathe in. Let your bronchial tubes inhale and funnel in delicious oxygen. And go ahead and upgrade yourself. Recode your DNA. Allow your cells in your body to swell with hydration as they receive healing elixirs dripping from your pituitary gland. Roll your eyes back and visualize your pituitary gland in the center of your head. Lick your lips and smile. Maybe you caress your brow line and feel every single little line soften as you say to your skin, flawless. You're gorgeous and lovable no matter what, and you're exactly where you're meant to be. You're powerful, you're strong, you're creating transformative resilience, which means you're stronger after you get hurt, after you've been mistreated. You're kinder and more loving and compassionate. Everything you touch turns to gold, transmuting trauma to treasure. Right here, right now. Superhero, what are your struggles? What are your celebrations? I want to know what's alive in you. I want to show you a language of the heart where we could speak and really express who we are and the components of what would make life even more wonderful, ways in which we can express doable actions where we can support and empower and collaborate to make life more wonderful in a world where everyone's needs matter and everyone's needs get met because we use a new approach known as integration. I'm going to be here every morning. I'm going to create this space, and if I'm not here, someone else will be. And as soon as your feet touch the ground, you are a healer. Here to embody the change the world in the world that you wish to see, to express and share your gifts and talents, and to teach others what you know. Coming to learn with a learning and growth mindset means that we're always teachable too. Acknowledging that we have something to learn no matter what species, what age, what gender, what culture, that there is an upside and a downside to all of us, that we all have struggles and celebrations, and we all share the same neutral, non-controversial, universal information. We all have the same three things: body sensations, feelings, and needs. And in a language of the heart, we just speak to these three things with beautiful visions of what we would like, not strategies and advice. It's clear when we're speaking from up in our head that we're just tinkering. We're not connecting. We're not coming from the integration center of all energy channels, our heart. We're not speaking a language of the heart because we're up here telling people what we think. We're giving our positive or negative evaluation depending upon if we like someone or don't like someone. And if we like someone because they're meeting our needs, then we're going to give them our negative evaluation. If we're up in our head, we're going to tell them what we think, give unsolicited advice, and this is a form of mobilization, so we're going to disconnect when we do this. And we don't have to take it personal anymore once we know this. Because if we are speaking from up in our head, then we know that we can shift to our heart if we learn a language to the heart. And we know that every evaluation, every thought, every strategy, every judgment, every time we try to blame or coerce someone into giving unnaturally, that we can neutralize this disconnecting energy that comes from mobilization. It's simply our amygdala, the two little tiny brains in the base of our skull, which hold our traumas, and they're informing the basal ganglia, which are right down there by the brainstem. And those basal ganglia are coming up with unconscious contracts, and your brainstem is giving you that mobilized response where you're not able to control your impulses and you need addictions to numb out. So we want to love, engulf, and soothe and give acknowledgement to our amygdala. We want to move through literally talking about the body sensations, talking about how we feel right now, talking about our emotions, so that we can tap into our body and we can reprogram our body. We can tell our lungs how deeply to breathe. We can tell our heart, invite it in to have a beautiful, gorgeous cadence, because it is the rum-tum-tum orchestrator, composer of all of the music, the symphony orchestra of our organs in our body. And not just coming in tune with our heart, with the language of body sensations, we get to get in touch with all organs, all cells of the body, and we can let people know, instead of speaking in a way where we're telling people what we think, we could just simply let people know what we noticed. Maybe we saw their shoulders come down. Maybe we noticed that their cheekbones are starting to rise and they're leaning in and their heads are moving down toward the shoulder a little. And we can talk about these movements instead of telling people, oh, you're so this, and giving people our labels, our diagnoses. And a lot of times when we're feeling upset, we'll begin to speak a language of deserve and should and have to. And again, this is just simply mobilization. It's the basal ganglia telling us that we have to do this, and then if this happens, we're going to withhold this, and then we're going to attack, and we're going to hide, and we're going to, and that's what we do. We fight, flight, fawn, fuck, the 4 F's. And that's mobilization. That's why we disconnect when we speak that way. It's also why when men catcall, women don't like it, because this system for mobilization, even though it's connected to all other different brain circuits, if we don't have the compassion and the love circuit and the care circuit, and it's just coming from mobilization, then we have catcalling and sexual assault and all varying degrees of violence, verbal violence. And if we're able to acknowledge, if I give you a negative evaluation about you, then I'm now the authority of you, who is a subjectivity, and that is an act of violence, because I'm going to trigger your defenses. You're going to secrete adrenaline and cortisol, and your vision is going to narrow in, and you're going to begin to detect a threat. So instead, I want to invite others in, and we've completely forgotten this language until babies are born. And then when